Good afternoon. I'm Niaz Mahmood Saqib. So I basically teach English. So it's afternoon, and in this chilly afternoon, it's real lovely to have all the brilliant minds here at Gulshan campus. So let's consider it as a PA session, okay? So how many of us loves traveling? So, shall we travel today? Shall we go to the Iran to improve our English language skills? You have to cooperate with me. If you guys stay silent, yeah, we have taken lunch already, so drowsiness may come into play. But if it meets you, I'll have to juxtapose and jinx all of you to make a life. So I hope all of you would cooperate. So here we are. Do we know these people? How many of us? Please raise your hand. Yeah, can you please tell us who they are? All of them are actors. These actors played Sherlock Holmes. How many of us know the character Sherlock Holmes? Do you know? The famous character written by Arthur Donald. Okay, this is Benedict Cumberbatch. So all of them portrayed Sherlock Holmes, and Sherlock Holmes is a detective character. So why we are talking about detectives? What are the skill set? What are the skills detectives possesses? Can any of us, would you please volunteer? Yeah, they can find the clue. Sharp mind. Insightful. They analyze, they reach the consequence. Their attention to detail comes into play. So attention to detail is the utmost important thing in academic writing. We are going to learn about academic writing today. So we need more skills, except organizational skills, analytical skills. What are the other skills we can add? The detectives possesses. What are the other skills? Yeah, it's critical thinking ability. So in the academic writing, for the verification, we need it more than ever before right now, as we are dealing with it. So for the first few minutes, it wouldn't take more than a minute. Let's just watch this video. Okay, what we just saw. Can any of you please explain what we saw? Yeah, please. Yeah, lack of foundation. That bridge has collapsed. So if any of us, or if any of your peers, if you find them getting crashed under this bridge, would you be getting there to rescue them? Would you take that risk? No? Okay, fine. So yes, our today's lesson would be on the styles of writing. So it would be elucidating upon the types. The major types we have, there are different types in the world. We right now have so many types. However, these types have been flourishing in this industry. So these are the most important and instrumental to flourish in that industry, in this particular industry. So yes, what items we have in the creative writing portion? It's novels, short stories, poetry. So in our early days, most of us have tried to write a poem, haven't we? We have, I believe. So we know a little bit about it. However, let's move on to the journalistic writing. So consider this example, like Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on 20th February urged the garments owners to increase the wage of the garment workers So in this sentence, do we have the 5W1 each? Do we have it? Please, volunteer. Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, on 20th February at 10 at R.C. Mojumdar Milonayaton Auditorium, urged the garment's owners to increase the wage of the garment workers. So, do we have 5W1 each? Here, it's when, how, what, who, to whom. So, yes, this is an example of the first sentence of a journalistic write-up. We have it. However, so the next part is persuasive writing. How many of us have heard the speech of Martin Luther King, I have a dream? So he had a line there, I have a dream, on the hills of Georgia one day, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners would be sitting at the table of brotherhood. How many of us have heard this line? Yes, so that's an example of persuasive writing, because in persuasive writing, what we do, we actually persuade to convince, to take the other person in our favor, in the favor of our cause. So that's what persuasive writing is all about. How many of us knows the term leukemia? Do you know the term leukemia? It's one kind of cancer. It's the blood cancer. So that's a scientific term. So while we would be contributing to scientific researches, we would be including those types of terms so that the general mass would not get the concept of that. Why? Because that's the privacy and that's the issue. That's the pathhold we take to keep the terms monitored and not accessible to the general mass. So let's move on. It's fine. How many of us know this person? Why? He is the world poet, right? And he is the sole person who wrote 3 different national anthems for 3 different countries. What are the countries? Do you know it? Sri Lanka, India, and Bangladesh. So yes, this is Rabindranath Tagore. So can any of you volunteer to tell a few lines about him? Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. So Rabindranath Tagore, when he was born, do you know? Okay, 1961. So answer me one question. Can a dead man be born first or be dead first? Can a man be dead without being born? No? Sure, are you sure? You sure? Okay. So when we tend to work on biographies, we always start with the birth date, because you have to get born first to be dead, right? So it has a logical structure. So in this whole world, all the texts we produce, those that we engrave as the original texts, those texts tend to have strategies and well-organized structures. So if we know the important structures, wouldn't be struggling to write any piece in this world. So how come we know something about what's the most important thing in your life? How can I know if something is important in your life? Can anybody tell me? Exactly. That's the thing. Impact. When we started our academic journey until today, there is no question in our exam paper that doesn't have the direct impact in our life. So in our academic writing, we only put those texts those are impactful and has far-reaching consequence, right? So let's move on. So from the hill of Georgia, now we are moving to the field of academic writing. Okay, so what were the skill sets that we mentioned earlier? What the skill set Sherlock Holmes had? The famous detective. What? What are the skill sets? Analytical, right? Analytical and organization. So here you see, in the academic writing, the first process we should follow is we have to nourish the skills of being analytical and organized. Okay, let's see what the slide says. For the outlining process, here the process is about formulating thoughts, right? Okay, let me show you an example of a research paper. So yes, this is my own research which I accomplished in my academic years. So it was about the gender analysis of NCTV textbooks corresponding to the usage of language. And let us have a look at the structure here. Here we see first acknowledgements, because those who would be contributing on your writing, you should credit them. Then you have the statement. You must state that your work is good, well organized, and your own. So you are declaring that you have not plagiarized. Do you know about ethos, logos, and pathos? Okay, so it's almost about emotional being, ethical being, and outlining. So these are the points we make in the field of linguistics. So here, see, we have an intro. First, would you be working on something that has already been invented? Or would you be working for something that you would be, getting a new concept? So you would have to work on that to get a new concept. So we do research of only what we don't have right now. So why research? I have showed research only to let you understand that, yeah, academic structure has something that you would be working on while doing this course. So in the courtroom, can you tell anything like, can you address the judge without my lord? I think no. So it has a cultural context, it has a socio-economic context, and it has a language context as well. So while we are working on formal write-up, we must follow that. We must follow the norms and decorums in the academic writings. Let's move on. So what is basically academic writing? We already have the background knowledge and the concepts, the necessary concepts. So yes, it's any writing done to fulfill a requirement of a college or university, as I recently showed you that example. So publications read by academics and researchers. And the most important thing, it is any writing. They have not made it specific. They have broadened it. Yes, in the academic field, we can congest it to any context. But here, they have broadened this concept and kept it open. So that's any writing given in an academic setting. So now I want some of you to work on a story. So we are moving on to creative writing. Yes, we have around 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we have 4 groups, and I want 4 different endings. You have to create a story out of this image, and this image is logically ordered and follows a chronology. So I want all of you to work on this, and from each group, I want a person to present the story, and I want 4 different endings if possible. So yeah, you have 2 minutes, and 2 minutes to work on this. So please, utilize your time.